Tuesday, the 4th of August, 2 o'clock, just after 2 o'clock. We are here for a special council meeting, and it's the one that we had to postpone from Friday, the 31st of July, as we had no quorum. I'm going to welcome councillors, all of you, welcome Acting Deputy Mayor and members of the staff. I'm going to give us a few quiet moments for introspection before we start. Thank you, councillors. I'm going to do a roll call now. The speaker is here, Councillor Mwati. Councillor Mwati.
Yes, yes.
Present, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Kershop.
Speaker, ek is hier, dankie.
Thank you. Councillor McPherson.
I'm here, Speaker. Thank you.
Councillor Magupeni. Councillor Magupeni. Councillor Magupeni. Councillor Magupeni, are you with us?
Speakers, Donson, Councillor Magupeni staan in buiten die council chambers op die phone.
Sy is nog nie by ons nie.
Ja.
Sy moet net vir 'n indikasie gee wanneer sy by ons aansluit. Dankie.
Okay.
Councillor Fortuin. Councillor Fortuin. Councillor Reiters. Councillor Lamborghini.
Present, Speaker.
Councillor Lamborghini is daar. Councillor Wagenaar apologized. Councillor Stone, I saw you earlier. Councillor Stone, yes, I see you. Councillor Botha. Councillor Botha.
Ja, Speaker.
Ek het jou. Councillor Sooman. Councillor Wildskut. Wildskut. Councillor Wildskut. Councillor Wildskut. Councillor Wildskut. Is there anyone in the room where Councillor Wildskut is? Thank you. Councillor Human. Councillor Thijssen.
Speaker.
Councillor Fourie.
Speaker, ja.
Councillor Chacha. I see that he's waiting to enter the room, and I can see that he's joining us. Councillor Chacha is here. Councillor Gertse.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Kobus, I see you. Councillor Fleurs, I see you. Councillor Windvogel apologized. Councillor Marman, I see you.
I'm present, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Owen. I saw your name, but I can't see your face. Councillor Owen,
She is better.
Councillor Owen,
Speaker, Speaker.
thank you. Councillor Donson and Councillor Jute. Councillor Donson,
Ja, Speaker, resource, Johnson.
thank you. Councillor Jute,
Ek is hier, Speaker.
thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Councillor Magupeni, you've joined us now. Councillor Magupeni? Yes, you have. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are 18 councillors present. That is a quorum, so we can continue. Councillor Nondi, do you have a hand there? You want to say something? Or is it just that your hand is in front of your screen? Not. Councillor Nondi, I can't hear you. Do you want to unmute yourself?
What do you want from me? Start your meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Nondi. I'm going to start my meeting. Good. We will continue with the thick item, the very thick item that we had in front of us. And we are on page, you will see the congratulations. I wish to, on behalf of council, congratulate the following councillors and officials with the celebration of their birthdays. And that is up to page, no number. Also, councillors that had birthdays as well. Councillor Kershop, I see your hand.
Thank you, Madam
Councillor.
Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to ask that we elect the mayor as at the previous meeting, if we gave notice already, and that we proceed immediately with this. Thank you. I will then propose Councillor McPherson as the candidate for the mayor post.
My hand is up. My hand is up, Speaker.
Sorry, I see Councillor Jongi's hand. I see Councillor Nondi's hand. Councillor Jongi Liswe. Councillor Tjatja. Councillor Tjatja, I see your hand. Councillor Tjatja. Oh, I see you have a problem connecting. Councillor Tjatja. Councillor Tjatja. Councillor Marman, I do see your hand, but it's Councillor Tjatja, Councillor Magupeni, and then you. Councillor Tjatja. Councillor Tjatja.
Ja. Ja.
Councillor Tjatja.
Het is op, maar zij antwoordt me nog niet.
Councillor Tjatja. No. Councillor Magupeni. Councillor Magupeni.
Come.
Councillor Tjatja.
Speaker, the point that I wanted to raise, I got about motions of exigence.
Yes, Councillor Chacha, what are your exigent motions?
It's the first one is with regards to housing material for displaced people or people that were affected by disasters or anything of that nature. I am made to understand that the distribution of such material is not done fairly. It is more favored to certain wards, but in some wards people are not given as such.
Yeah. Councillor Chacha,
Number two,
Councillor Chacha, Councillor Chacha, the sound is very bad. I would like to have your motion of exigency in writing. I have a proposal from Councillor Kershaw that we immediately continue with the election of the mayor. Do I have a seconder
No,
for
Speaker,
the
I'm still in the
proposal
motion of
of
exigency.
Councillor Kershaw?
Speaker, I'm
Speaker, my
still in
hand
the
was
motion.
up.
Right. Do I have a seconder for Councillor Kershaw's proposal?
Speaker, I'm still with motions.
Councillor Chacha, I would like to receive the motion of exigency in writing so that we can deal with it. Thank you. Councillor Kershaw has a proposal. Do I have a seconder?
Speaker, my hand was up.
Councillor Magupeni?
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, my question is, okay, since last week, we know that the MM is not here. And then we took a council resolution that says that if Mr. Paulsen is not here, Reggie Smith is the one that is acting. If Reggie Smith is not here, Mr. Mathieu is the one that is acting. I understand that they are all not here. And it seems as if you are in a hurry to continue with this meeting. Why can't we deal with that first? The reason that I'm asking that, you are the chairperson of the council because you are our speaker. There are issues that are on the agenda that would need administration side. And then currently, you did not even tell us that they are not here. And then who is the person that is acting on the as an acting MM if they are not here? You are now rushing so that you can be able to elect the mayor. And I still feel that that is not that much important. What I am raising now, it's something that we've raised as an ANC last week. Can we get an indication to say that where is the MM if he's not here? Where is the acting MM according to what the council resolution that we took says? Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Magupeni. I take note of your concerns. We will, however, I will make the ruling that we will continue. I saw Councillor Marman's hand. Councillor Marman, I see your hand.
Speaker, I think it will do justice if you just can explain to the councillors in terms of the acting arrangements and the situation of the MM, just for clarity's sake. And in terms of the proposal that Kay also raised, Speaker, we were still on the agenda. So,
thank you.
Speaker, as you were at liberty.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councillor Marman. I take note of your concern. Thank you very much. Councillor Jute, I see your hand. Councillor Jute.
Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Jute.
What is the proposal currently on the table?
The proposal currently on the table is from Councillor Kershaw to say that seeing as the election of the mayor has already been advertised for the 8 days before, and we already had it on the agenda, we didn't deal with it, that we deal with that immediately. That's the proposal from Councillor Kershaw. I'm waiting for a seconder.
I second the proposal, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Councillor Jute. We will now continue with the election, and there will be nomination papers distributed. Thank you very much. Philip, council support. will you make sure that nomination papers are distributed? I will have that back in 10 minutes. It's 14:22. I'll have it back at 14:32 in my office, please.
Speaker.
Thank you very much, Council support.
Speaker.
We now give you 10 minutes to
Speaker.
please hand in your nomination
Speaker.
form. Thank you.
Speaker. Speaker.
Councillor Magupeni.
We also have a name as an ANC that we want to propose.
Thank you very much. I will now have nomination papers delivered because that's the correct way to do it. Okay, it will work like this. Nomination papers will be distributed and the nomination papers will be filled in with the candidate of your choice. Okay, then the nomination forms must be signed by 2 members of the Municipal Council, and the person who is nominated must indicate acceptance of the nomination by signing either the nomination form or any other form of written confirmation. You will get a nomination form. Then I will announce the names of the people who have been nominated as candidates, but there will be no debate. If only one candidate is nominated, the person presiding, that's the speaker, must declare that candidate elected. If more than one candidate is nominated, a vote must be taken by the meeting by secret ballot. Each councillor present at the meeting may cast 1 vote, and the speaker must declare elected the candidate who receives a majority of votes. So we are now at the first step. I'm awaiting the nomination documents. Thank you very much, councillors. You will have that back in my office at 14:32. Thank you. Councillors, I'm still waiting for nomination forms. I've received one nomination form. Madeleine, Philip, can you assist here, please? Councillors, I've received one nomination form. I'm awaiting nomination forms, please. Councillor Magupeni, you indicated that you would like to nominate someone as well. I'm awaiting your nomination form. If you filled it in, Madeleine, or someone of council support must just bring it down to me, please. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, councillors. Are you all with me again? Okay. I have received two nominations. The first nomination is the nomination of Geraldine Kobus as a candidate for the position of Executive Mayor, and it is proposed by Councillor Johanna Floers, and it is seconded by Councillor Gertsen. The nomination form is in order. So the first candidate will be Councillor Kobus. The second one is the nomination of Christian Daniel McPherson as candidate for the position of Executive Mayor. It is proposed by Councillor Hendrik Botha and seconded by Councillor Johan Fourie. This nomination form is duly signed by Councillor McPherson in acceptance of the nomination. So we have 2 candidates. Councillors, it will now work as follows. You will each receive, each of you will go to the council chamber. At the council chamber, you will receive a note, a ballot paper. Your ballot paper, you will sign for your ballot paper. It's 1 ballot paper per councillor, which means that we will hand out 19 ballot papers. I would like the chief whips or the whips of the parties to be present in that venue at all times to make sure that the process is correct. Mr. Philip Goliath will be the presiding officer of this election. Every councillor will sign for their ballot paper. You will then go into the box and you will write the name on your ballot. So you will either write Cobus or McPherson. Then you will put that ballot paper in the ballot box. Of course, the chief whips, it's exactly the same as in any other election. The chief whips will make sure before the time that the ballot box is empty. After all the votes have been cast, the chief whips will still be present and Mr. Goliath will open the box and the votes will be counted. The result will then be made known by the speaker. So councillors, I am now requesting all of you to please go to the council chamber where you will receive your, and please make sure that we really look at social distancing. Wear your masks, councillors, sign for your ballot paper, make your choice, put the ballot paper into the ballot box, and then return to the venue where you are normally sitting so that we can finalize this. Thank you very much, councillors. Thank you, councillors. I trust you're all back in your different venues. Can I just see your faces on your, can I see your faces on your tablets, please? Councillors. Can I see your faces on your tablets, please, councillors? Thank you, councillors. I can see all of you, or most of you. I don't see Councillor Stone, Councillor Kershaw, Councillor Fourie. I don't see you yet. Councillor Deb, I don't see you yet either. Councillor Tyser, but I take it you're all back. Thank you very much, councillors. We had 2 nominations for the post of Executive Mayor for Oudtshoorn. We had Councillor Kobus and Councillor McPherson. There were 19 councillors present, and the election was as follows. Votes in favour of Councillor Kobus, 7. Votes in favour of Councillor McPherson, 11. We had 1 spoiled ballot, which comes to 19. Councillor McPherson, welcome. You are officially the new mayor of Oudtshoorn. Do any of the opposition parties want to say a word of welcome to Councillor McPherson? I see no indication of hands. I see, is this Councillor Tjatja? I see you. Please continue. Councillor Tjatja, just unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself. Thank you, Councillor Tjatja. Continue.
Speaker, can you hear me?
Thank you, Councillor Tjatja. I hear you.
Why are you meeting us for the meeting?
On behalf of the African National Congress, as I was about to welcome the newly elected mayor, I have attempted to unmute myself, but the indication from the screen was that only the host is allowed to unmute people. So I just want to make a request to you, Speaker, please do not bully us. This system is made to ensure that meetings goes democratically and fair.
Thank you, Councillor Tjatja.
Mr. McPherson, I don't have much to say because I do not have history with as far as how you have been in politics. But what I want to really to bring to your attention is that the interest should be that of the people of Oudtshoorn. Your very own party for far too long have directed its infrastructure, have directed its resources to the historically advantaged individuals. I am hoping with your leadership and your courage, you're going to stand tall against your party to tell them that resources must be directed to the most needy people. And the most needy people should not be people that are to be seen as tools to achieve a certain agenda of those that are advantaged. But resources directed to needy people should ensure that infrastructure development and job creations and adequate service delivery, which speaks volumes to those that are affected or to those that are staying in the periphery of this town. With those words, Mr. Mayor, newly elected mayor, I welcome you and I assure you that if your guidance will be directed to equitable resource distribution, you will have our full support of the African National Congress. The policy objectives should be that of the council that are set by all of us as a collective. We do not want to see you grandstanding or trying to pursue or to find space that the only policy should be that of the Democratic Alliance. The policy should be that of the municipality of this council. With those words, Mr. Mayor, I welcome you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tjatja. Councillor Jute, and then Councillor Gertse, and then Councillor Marman. And then I think it's the Deb, because I don't see her face. Councillor Jute.
Speaker, is raadslid Donson. Namens die Kouda nog niet verrast het met Vincent zich geluk met zijn nieuwe positie. En ons gewoon vertrouwen dat hij die vertrouwen en ons het gehelp. En ons gewoon vertrouwen dat hij die vertrouwen van die dorp eerste zal stellen. So Mr. McPherson, geluk. En ons vertrouwen dat hij samen met die hele raad zal samenwerken. Dank u.
Dank u, raadslid Donson. Raadslid Jute.
Speaker, baie dankie vir die voorreg. Ons namens Sarko wil ons die uitvoerende burgemeester, ons nuut aangestelde, gelukwens. En ons glo die stoel wat hy sal inneem, sal die stoel wees van integriteit om ons dorp na die beste van vermoë vorentoe te vat. Baie geluk.
Dank u, raadslid Jute. Raadslid Gertse.
Madam Speaker,
Raadslid Gertse gaan voort.
Madam Speaker, ek is teleurgesteld dat u ons mute wanneer ons wil praat oor sake rondom hierdie geleentheid.
Raadslid Gertse, ek het jou nie gemute nie.
Madam Speaker, jy het my gemute. En dan nommer 2, Madam Speaker. Wat ek graag wil weet is, wat was die ooreenkoms tussen die EFF, die Kousa en Sarko vir die stem van McPherson as burgemeester? Wat was die
Raadslid Gertse, ek het gevra, Raadslid Gertse, ek het gevra
Madam Speaker, ek wil weet, wat het julle vir Gavin Jute en vir Donson en vir die EFF beloof?
Baie dankie. Raadslid Marman.
Speaker.
Raadslid Marman.
Ja, Speaker, kan u my hoor?
Ek hoor jou, Raadslid Marman.
Speaker, on behalf of the EFF, we're not going to congratulate someone for being elected in terms of a mayorship, because you were elected by council in terms of to serve the people outside in the community and in this local municipality, the town name of Oudtshoorn. So, Speaker, I hope that in the best ability of councillor of the executive mayor, the person, that he in his best ability will serve our people, especially our black and colored people there outside. And that is my plea to him and my plea to him. Because now I can see, Speaker, the people voted the GA in power, and we're not taking power by the back door. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marman. I see, Deb, is it your hand that I see? I can't see your face. I have somebody's hand up and I can't see their face. Could you all please switch on your videos and show me your face? Please, can you switch on your videos so I can see your faces? Because I have somebody here that I don't know who it is. Councillor Magupeni, it's you. Councillor Magupeni? Okay. Councillor Botha and then Councillor McPherson. Councillor Botha. Councillor Botha.
Speaker, ek vra 10 minute caucus.
Raadslid Botha, kan ek net dat Raadslid McPherson indien hy wil, dankie sê vir die boodskappe.
Dis reg, dis reg.
Dankie Raadslid McPherson.
Can you hear me? Sorry. Did you follow speaker?
Yes.
I can give you the assurance, Mr. Chacha, and everybody else, thanks for those words, and I'll definitely take it to heart. I want to say one thing which is very close to my heart, and that is the moment I put that cloth over my shoulders, van daai oomblik af bestaan Chris McPherson nie meer nie, dan is dit die burgemeester en die eerste burger. And in that regard, I also want to emphasize another point, and that is that the change of that office symbolizes the fact that that is my commitment to all the people. That's an oath of this office to serve the people of Oudtshoorn. And that is my single one most goal in this council. For me, every single life matters, especially during these trying times. We have all suffered, some far more than others, and it's up to each one of us to reach out and touch those in need. Ek wil ook vir u sê, en ek nooi al die partye om saam hand te vat, want hierdie dorp het ons almal nodig, nie net die DA nie, nie net die ANC nie, nie net SARCO of die EFF of enige ander party wat ook in hierdie dorp is nie. Ons gaan moet hande vat. En dit is een ding wat kenmerkend is van Oudtshoorn. Hy het altyd die vermoë om op te reis uit die donker tye uit. It's like a phoenix. It's down and it's burned and it rises up again and it flies off. Dit gaan van elkeen van ons afhang vir die voorbeeld wat ons stel. It's not just my example. It's going to be each councillor's example because we are elected by people that expect us to do our utmost to improve the lives of these people. And you can rest assured, I'll try my utmost, but ek gaan elkeen se hand baie nodig hê om saam te vat om hierdie waard deur die dif te trek. Weereens baie dankie vir elkeen, and I look forward to working with each one of you in his own capacity or hers. Baie dankie. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McPherson. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mayor McPherson. I'm going to give you a 10-minute, should we make it until 15:30. There's a caucus requested by Councillor Botha. You will be back at 15:30. Thank you very much, councillors. 15:30.
Dan is er weer caucus 1 toe. Dan is
Thank you, councillors. Could you please all switch on your videos so that I can see your faces, so we can make sure that we still call right? I see Councillor Marman. I see Councillor Jude and Donson. I see Councillor Gertse. I see Councillor Stone. Councillor Floors. Councillor Kobus. Councillor Kershaw. I'm here. Councillor Tjatja. Councillor Tjatja, I see Councillor Councillor Magupeni. Councillor Botha, can you just put on your video so that I can get an indication of whether you're with us? Councillor Owen, I see you. Councillor Botha is with us. Councillor McPherson is with us. Councillor Fourie is with us. Councillor Thijssen. Councillor Thijssen, are you with us? Councillor Thijssen. Councillor Thijssen, can you give me an indication whether you're with us? Councillor Wildschut. Yeah. Councillor Wildschut. Councillor Lamborghini, I see you. Councillor Thijssen, I see you. They must just show me their faces, that's all. I just want to see their faces. Deb, I see you. Okay, we record them. 1, 2, 3. We 19 councillors present, therefore we record them. Councillor Botha, you asked for a caucus break. Your feedback, please. You can now unmute yourself, please. Councillor Botha.
Ja, Speaker, ek gee oor vir die deputy, om te praat.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Speaker, do you hear me?
I hear you, Deb.
Okay. To the councillors, the officials of the Greater Oudtshoorn Municipality, and the citizens of the Oudtshoorn Municipality, I just want to thank them for the time I was serving them as the deputy mayor of this town. But this afternoon, I took a decision to step aside. It was not an easy decision, but it was for the interest of the public, of the citizen of the Greater Oudtshoorn. So today I'm resigning as the deputy mayor of this town. I thank each and everyone who helped me in that office. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Mwati. Councillor Chacha, I see your hand. Councillor Chacha.
Speaker, I want to just to get clarity on the announcement of the deputy mayor that her reason for her withdrawal as a deputy mayor is in the best interest of the residents of this town. I want to be convinced because there's an undertone on what she was saying that I do not think or believe that it's in the best interest of the entire town of this Oudtshoorn, but in the best interest of the Democratic Party, Democratic Alliance Party. It is a shame indeed, as a party that will sometimes be bold to say that we want to build the rainbow nation, and yet you are willing and so in a hurry to sacrifice a leader that is of women, a leader that is coming from the historically disadvantaged communities, a leader that stands for the policies that seeks to transform communities through service delivery and so forth. It is so disappointing by the Democratic Alliance to play politics of sacrifice for the betterment or for their self-serving interest. The political climate that is so congested by the interest of the political party called the Democratic Alliance, which I call it a party that wants to replace democracy with apartheid. That I have seen it play today. I have drawn witness to it, that the Democratic Alliance Party, it's all about their own interest, but not of the broader public. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Chacha. We have a vacancy in the position of Deputy Mayor, and we will now go ahead and fill this position. The same rules that we followed with the election of a mayor will now be followed. I am awaiting nominations for the position of the Deputy Mayor. Nomination forms will be handed out. Please make sure that we get them as soon as possible. I will give you 10 minutes for nomination forms to reach my office. Thank you very much. Councillor Magupeni.
Thank you very much, Speaker. From the ANC side, we are also going to nominate.
Thank you, Councillor Magupeni. Nomination forms will be available, and I await your nomination forms. Thank you very much, councillors. Thank you, councillors. Philip? Het ek nog 'n kandidaat? Het ek 3 kandidate? Ek het 2 kandidate. Ek het die vorms voor my. Ek het vir Tjatja en ek het vir Jude. Okay? Jy kan hom tik. Jy kan hom tik. Ek gaan praat. Ja, jy kan jou papiere bring. Ek gaan nou vir hulle sê hulle moet gaan stem. Okay. Okay. Thank you, councillors. I have received 2 nomination forms for the position of Executive Deputy Mayor. I've received the nomination from Councillor Tjatja, Jongiliswe Tjatja. It was proposed by Councillor Floors and seconded by Councillor Kobus. This nomination form is in order. The second nomination form that I've received is the nomination of Councillor Jude as candidate for the position of Executive Deputy Mayor, and it was proposed by Councillor Donson and seconded by Councillor Marman. This nomination form is also in order, so we have 2 candidates. The same process will be followed. Councillors, please proceed to the council chamber, observe social distancing. You will each be issued with ballot paper. You will vote and the process will continue. Thank you very much, councillors. Thank you, councillors. Thank you all. We're back. We have 19 councillors that voted. That's the number of councillors in the meeting at the moment. We had two candidates, Councillor Jute and Councillor Tjatja. In favour of Councillor Tjatja, 6 votes, and in favour of Councillor Jute, 13 votes. Councillor Jute is now the new Deputy Mayor of Oudtshoorn. Congratulations, Councillor Jute. And I see that the new Mayor would like to say something. Councillor Mayor McPherson.
Just unmute. Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Jute. It's going to be a pleasure working with you. I think you're bringing to council a lot of experience. En dit gaan ons geweldig baie help in die raad. En ek dink dit wys nou net waarmee is ons besig en dat ons nou begin het op 'n pad om saam met u te loop. En ek hoop die mense van die dorp kan sien dat ons deur u samewerking dat ons nou gaan beweeg in 'n rigting waar veelpartydemokrasie tot sy reg gaan kom. En dit gaan 'n voorreg wees om u saam te hê in die span en die moeilike pad wat voor lê saam aan te doen. Veels geluk. Congratulations. Baie dankie.
Speaker.
Councillor Magopeni, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Speaker. On behalf of the African National Congress, I would like to say congratulations to Gavin Jute, a member of SARCO that is now in coalition with the DA. But let me further say, when a speaker, it's that we had a colored mayor. We've just replaced a colored mayor with a white mayor. Again, we've got an African lady that was the deputy mayor that was forced to resign. I understand that she said that she is resigning, but I know for a fact that she was forced by the DA to do so. Taking a female out, bringing a male in. What is it that you are calling that? I believe that as a DA, you are saying that you are talking about one nation. Noluthando Mwati was the only African person in the DA caucus. Taking her out, replacing her with a male. We are in the month of August. I am speaking as a female. It's a woman's month that we are supposed to celebrate. How do you expect her to celebrate? Meanwhile, that we are doing this. I think now this is a lesson to our voters out there. The DA never loved us. And the DA will never love us. Comrade Notando or Sis Notando, I just hope that you can see that. This is not new from the DA side. We once had a female, African female, that was Felicity Makaka. The DA treated her the same way. I just hope that this is a lesson for the voters out there. This is your DA that you voted for. Taking our colors out, taking a female African out for a male. Shame on you, DA. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Magopeni. Councillor Marman.
Speaker, firstly, I would like to congratulate Councillor Jute as now our Executive Deputy Mayor. So geluk aan raadslid Gavin Jute. Speaker, then I would like to say it was very unfortunate that the shock came that the Deputy Mayor resigned. But the shock even after that was, Speaker, that we only had nominations of 2 male councillors. Even the ANC, even the previous speaker who spoke now, spoke about Women's Month, but even them submitted a name of a male. So they are hypocrites to the core. They are hypocrites, Speaker. And on that I will stand down. Even more so, they even supported the motion of no confidence against the deputy mayor last week. How can you be so hypocritical to score political brownie points? I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Marman. Councillor Tata, I saw your hand. Councillor Tata, do you want to add something?
Yeah, Speaker, I will want to echo the same message shared by my Councillor Nombomiso, but also to state it categorically so that as the ANC, we have forever supported transformation of service delivery, transformation in all spheres, in all sectors, and in all parts of communities. It looks like we are going back to the era of Jabas. Our smaller opposition parties have surrendered the lives of the people of this town back to the days of apartheid, where our people were supposed to be calling white people by Jabas. We are going back there. Many cries have been cried very loud by the majority of this town that we want service delivery. We want to see that people are creating jobs. We want to see that the lives of the people are being changed to the better. Unfortunately, the DA have failed since 2016 up until today to do so. I can assure you, we are going to witness in great strides and measures indirect service that will be going straight to town, to the well-developed areas. We are also going to see that in most key positions, our people of this town will not land jobs. One other issue that we have continuously raised, we said that the majority of the gender in this town is females. Yet you will see in this municipality that females are underrepresented. This is what the DA is advocating, that those discrepancies, women empowerment should not take place, service delivery to our people should not take place. We have seen that. And the very same that have supported the DA today were also on the same side with us, where we were voicing our concerns, we are voicing the griefs of our people. Yet to our surprise today, they are siding with the DA. We are hoping that as the time will go from today onwards, the eyes will be opened of the broader communities, the eyes will be opened of those that are sitting with the DA today, that really the power is in the hand of our people. We must not take the power out of their hands to those that were oppressors before. By the look of things, that today we are driving as a ship that's going to continue oppressing our poor communities. And those that are representing these constituencies as well from the DA wards, open your eyes. We have asked you a number of times, open your eyes. We were unable to bring change. We were unable to bring development. We were unable to bring service delivery to our people. Yet you sat there, you supported these injustices happening. I'm calling upon every one of you, DA, particularly those that are representing poor communities. Open your eyes. What was the reason for you being nominated or elected to be ward councillors? Is to represent those, not a political party agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Chacha. Councillor Jude or Councillor Donson, I don't know which one of you.
Speaker is Donson. Speaker, kan u me hoor?
Ons hoor jou.
Speaker, namens die causa wil ons net vir meneer Kevin Jude gelukwens met zijn nieuwe positie als uitvoerende onderburgemeester van Oudtshoorn Municipaliteit. Ik denk met meneer Jude zijn 40 jaar in plaatselijke regering is het een groot aanwinst voor die raad. En ik geloof dat hij zal baie beteken voor die gemeenschap van Oudtshoorn. We terug gaan naar de ANC toe. De ANC moet zijn racisme in de municipaliteit in die raadzaal stoppen. Omdat Mr. Jude een breinman is. Wat nou voor gestemd was, maak die ANC goed bewaard team. Hulle het ons ook verlede week gehelp, een motie wat die causa aangebring het om die deputy mayor van die DA te remove. Die ANC het ons gehelp om die deputy mayor te remove. 2 dae daarna kom die ANC terug en maak 'n groot boei. Dit is duidelik dat die ANC weet nie of die vorentoe gaan of die terug gaan nie. Maar ons glo en ons vertrou dat met Mr. Jude hier as onderburgemeester, die kundigheid wat hy het, sal hy dat ons allemaal saam gaan en dat die ANC van die huis van hom afklim, dat ons sal saamwerk en dat ons nie hier is om 'n sekere ras te bevorder, maar die breë gemeenskap van Oudtshoorn. Want ons is hier vir ons politieke partye nie, ons represent die gemeenskap van Oudtshoorn en die constitution, ons sap met ondersegels, nie ons partypolitieke reënsie. En ek glo en ek vertrou speaker dat Mr. Jude is 'n groot aanwinst vir ons. So Mr. Jude, geluk. Dankie speaker.
Dankie raadslid Johnson. Raadslid Jude, wou u iets gesê het?
Speaker, ja, baie dankie. Agbare speaker, uitvoerende burgemeester, baie dankie vir die geleentheid. Ek wil my dank en waardering uitspreek aan u, sowel as elke raadslid wat 'n vote of confidence in my gestel het, om my te verkies tot die ampt van onderburgemeester. Madam Speaker, ek wil hierdie geleentheid gebruik om vir die breë gemeenskap reeds dit oor te dra, dat ons moet verby politiek kyk. Ons gemeenskap kry swaar. Jy weet, met die toetrede tot COVID is daar baie stoele leeg vandag. As stoele in die hospitaal leeg, ons kan nie ons siek mense besoek nie. As stoele in die skole leeg, as stoele leeg in die kerke, as stoele leeg in ons regering en alle regeringsbeen en departemente. Madam Chair, dit het hoogtyd geword dat daardie stoele gevul moet word met integriteit, met liefde en deernis. En baie belangrik dat dit tot eer en verheerliking van die ons Here, ons God en ons Vader moet wees. Ons belange is die gemeenskap se belange, nie ons persoonlik of politieke belang nie. En daarom bied ek myself en dit wat ek, my kennis wat ek opgedoen het, oor die jare bied ek aan vir hierdie dorp, nie vir 'n politieke party nie. En ek wil baie dankie sê dat u of enige politieke party die bereidheid aanvaar het om 'n hand uit te steek na ander rolspelers om 'n groter bydraende rol te speel tot hierdie dorp. Ons dorp ly. Ons dorp trek swaar onder armoede. As ons dink aan ons behuisingsprobleme, as ons dink hoe afgeskeep Oudtshoorn tans is rondom die omliggende gebiede wat groter groei bied, regverdig dit laat ons vandag hierdie politiekery los en ons dorp vorentoe vat. Ek dank u vir alles, dankie vir hierdie geleentheid en ek dank elke raadslid of u vir my gestem het of nie. U het 'n belangrike rol te speel en ek glo ek bied alles om saam hierdie dorp vorentoe te vat. Baie dankie.
Baie dankie Raadslid Jude. Onderburgemeester Jude. Councillor Chacha, when we started this meeting, you asked to table a motion of exigency, and I want to know whether you still want to go back to the motion of exigency, because we've now dealt with the elections. Councillor Chacha. Just unmute yourself, please, Councillor Chacha.
The host is not allowing participants to unmute themselves. That's
Yeah,
what
I unmuted you. I unmuted you.
Thank you very much. Speaker, the motion of exigency that I wanted to table.
In short, Councillor Chacha,
I'm in short. Speaker, allow me to speak. The first one was the distribution of housing or housing material for those that are affected by disasters and for those that are evicted. That's number one. Number two.
Can we deal, Councillor Chacha, we deal with one motion of exigency at a time.
All right.
I'm now going to ask council whether they will allow this motion of exigency to be tabled. I'm going to start with, let me see who I can see. Councillor Marman, will you allow this motion to be tabled now? Councillor Marman?
Now.
Now.
Speaker, I think we can let the motion table now, Speaker.
Councillor Gertse?
Speaker, yes, I support.
Councillor Kershaw? Councillor Kershaw?
Madam Speaker, no, I'm against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Jute? Councillor Jute?
Madam Chair, yes, we would really like to hear what the motion is about.
Councillor Donson?
Speaker, kan ik voor speaker vragen om mij te verschonen van de raadsvergadering, speaker? Maar hoef ik een stem kan uitbrengen of niet, want ik ga niet op die punt divisie maken. Die problemen dat die motie kan die motion of exigency niet, maar kan u mij verschonen, speaker, alsjeblieft?
Zekerlijk, raadslid Donson, ek verskoon u. Councillor Stone? Do you want the motion to be tabled now? Sorry, Councillor Stone, do you want the motion to be tabled now?
Yes, I want it to be tabled now.
Councillor Lampagine, do you want the motion to be tabled now? Yes, Councillor Lampagine?
Speaker, yes.
Do you want the motion to be tabled now?
No, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor McPherson, do you want the motion to be tabled now?
Madam Speaker, it sounds like it's a very delicate matter that we are going to discuss. I would not suggest that this is the platform for it, but if it needs be and he wants to voice the opinion of something that has to happen, then it's up as his right, but I would say that that's not the platform or the place to do it. So I would reject the motion of exigency. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McPherson. Councillor Botha? Councillor Botha?
Speaker, nee.
Dankie. Councillor Moati? Councillor Moati?
Upset.
Councillor Moati?
She's gone.
Councillor Moati? No, she's still with us. I'll come back to Councillor Moati. Councillor Magupeni?
Let's deal with the matter, Speaker.
Councillor Magupeni?
It's a yes from me.
Thank you. Councillor Floors?
Yeah, Speaker.
Councillor Owen? Ja. Councillor Kobus?
Yeah, Speaker.
Dankie. Councillor Thijssen? Councillor Thijssen? No. I see Councillor Mwati and I see Councillor Wildskut.
No, Speaker.
And Councillor Mwati?
No, Speaker.
Okay. Councillor Fourie. Councillor Fourie.
Nee, Speaker.
Goed. Councillor Kershaw. Nee, ek het jou al gehad, skus tog. Agtien, die speaker sê nee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ek het dan nou net 18 raadslede. Wie het ek nou nie voorgevra nie? Dis Moati. Wie het ek nie voorgevra nie? Lambajeen, Botha, Moati, Thuise, Wilkut, Fourie, Kershaw. En dan het ek Marman, Gertse, Jude, Danson, Stone, Makopeni, Floors, Owen en Kobus. Is ek reg? 1, 2, 3.
Ja, she did. Yes.
16, 17, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, ek het 18 raadslede wat gestem het. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is daarvoor dat die mosie nou moet dien. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is daar teen dat die mosie nou moet dien. In this case, I have to do a casting vote. I have the casting vote and I vote that this motion not be tabled, that this motion of exigency not be tabled at this moment, but that it be dealt with. Thank you very much. Councillor Chacha, do you have another motion of exigency you want to bring?
I wanted to check, maybe I can tell you what the other two is so that you don't make this long exercise. I just all four of them and we check whether we allow it or not.
Councillor Chacha, continue.
This second one, Speaker, the motion of exigence. Now that in COVID-19, people are told to continue washing their hands, in fact, keep themselves clean at all times. Now, in informal settlements, there's some areas that are without access to water, whether the informal settlements are illegal or not illegal, legal or not or illegal. I wanted to bring to the attention of the council that the COVID-19 pandemic, it affects all of us. It's the golden rule that we must continuously wash our hands. Now, what do we do in a situation where people are without access to water? Yet on national and provincial and local government, we continue to spread the message that people must continuously clean their hands. How on earth are we expecting them to clean their hands without access to water? I want to request that this council must consider this matter and ensure that people are provided access to water urgently in all informal settlements, whether illegal or legal. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Chacha. We will do the same thing again. All those that's in favour of tabling the motion at this time, when I ask you, you indicate to me. Councillor Marman.
Speaker, I think to address that issue, if you look at our agenda, there's still an item on the COVID-19 fund. And when we address this agenda, I don't know if we're going to address it next week in the council meeting. I think we can address the water issue under the COVID-19 fund that we want to establish as the municipality. Together with the policy direction we have to take in terms of the housing, in terms of when it comes to informal structures and giving out building material to our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marman. So you against the motion being tabled at this moment?
I wanted to be tabled under the COVID-19 fund.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Marman. Councillor Gertse. Councillor Gertse. Councillor Gertse, is he still in the room with you? Councillor Chacha, is Councillor Gertse?
Yes, Madam Speaker. Yes, Madam Speaker.
Yes. You want the motion to be tabled now? Thank you, Councillor Gertse. Yes.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Councillor Chacha?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Kershaw? Councillor Kershaw? Councillor Kershaw?
No, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Jude? Councillor Jude?
De vergadering verlaat.
Councillor Jude is no longer with us. Councillor Stone?
Yes, Speaker. It's urgent.
Thank you. Councillor Lamborghini?
Speaker.
Councillor Lamborghini?
Yes, Speaker. Speaker, I don't want this motion to serve.
Thank you very much. Deb, Councillor Mwati? Councillor Mwati?
Speaker,
Yes, Councillor Mwati?
as a chairperson of Human Settlement, I spoke to Ms. Simsu last week when.
Yes, Councillor Mwati? Councillor Mwati?
Speaker.
Yes, Councillor Mwati, I hear you.
So as I want to give a clarity, Speaker, 22 toilets and 3 taps were installed in those informal settlements at Nepon. So Ms. Sims do cater for those kind of issues and problems.
Thank you. Councillor Mwati, so you don't want this motion to be tabled now?
Yes, no.
Thank you. Okay. Councillor McPherson?
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to give the assurance that the intention is that this point is so important that this is going to be discussed in a workshop to be held next week in depth. And I hope that we can get all the answers that are needed in depth as well. Therefore, I would not support this exigent motion at this stage. Thank you.
Councillor Botha?
Nee, Speaker.
Yeah. Councillor Magupeni?
Of exigence from Councillor Kyaka about
Councillor Magupeni?
those people who just occupy.
Councillor Magupeni?
I
said yes, Speaker. It's a yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Floors? Councillor Floors? Councillor Floors? Councillor Floors? Yes or no? Yes. Thank you, Councillor Floors. Councillor Owen? Councillor Owen? Councillor Owen?
No, Speaker.
No, thank you. Councillor Kobus? Councillor Kobus? Councillor Kobus?
Yes, Speaker.
Yes. Councillor Fourie? Councillor Fourie? Okay, Councillor Fourie?
Yes, Speaker. Can you hear?
Thank you, Councillor Fourie. I hear you. and I vote that it not be tabled at the moment. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that it be tabled now, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that it not be tabled at the moment. So this motion will not be tabled at the moment. Thank you very much. Councillor Chacha.
Speaker,
Yes, Councillor Chacha.
I believe that all of us will have a constitutional responsibility to our people or people that we are representing. Whether now one sees it that is not the right platform, but council meetings are platforms to raise motions of exigence. I'm not too sure the mayor where does he get the idea that this is not the right platform, and we not discuss such issues on workshops. Workshop is not a meeting. A workshop is a workshop. My last motion, Speaker, that I want to bring to our attention is the establishment of the Municipal Solidarity Fund. This was a call made by national government together with provincial government that local municipalities need to establish solidarity funds to ensure that any sort of funding that is made available needs to be channeled through that establishment of that municipal solidarity fund to the benefactors of the COVID-19 infected or affected households or communities.
Councillor Chacha, you're making a speech. All you have to do is you say you want to bring a motion of urgency for the establishment of a municipal solidarity fund. That's all you have to say.
It is urgent because we've got food that is rotten. This municipal solidarity fund is going to ensure that programs and activities are activated to benefit people that are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you very much, Councillor Chacha. Okay, Councillor Marman, are you for this motion to be tabled now? Councillor Marman, or not?
Speaker, like I alluded before, when Councillor Chacha raised the issue about the water, I said we can bring it under attention of the COVID-19 fund. And the COVID-19 fund is already an item on the agenda.
Thank you very much, Councillor Marman. Councillor Gertse? Councillor Gertse? Yes or no? Councillor Gertse? Yes or no?
Yes, Speaker.
Okay. Councillor Kershaw? Yes or no? Councillor Kershaw, yes or no?
No, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Jute? Yes or no? Councillor Jute? Councillor
Madam
Jute?
Chair,
Ja.
Speaker, kan u my hoor?
Ek hoor jou.
Madam Speaker, die item is mos reeds op die agenda. Kan ons dit by die periode wanneer daai item op die agenda bespreek of in daai agenda hanteer word? Ek dink ek wil vra dat ons voortgaan met die as daar enige ander items is in hierdie item oorstaan tot later geleentheid.
Kan ek, dit is 'n voorstel van raadslid Councillor Jute made a proposal that we continue with the meeting. Seeing as this item is already in the agenda at one or other stage. Do I have a seconder for Councillor Jute's proposal? Do I have a seconder for Councillor Jute's proposal that we continue with this meeting? Thank you very much. I have a seconder in Councillor McPherson. We will continue with the meeting. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Lamborghini.
Speaker.
Yes.
Can I be excused myself and Councillor Wilstead because we have some other arrangements? Please, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Lamborghini. I just want to make a note of that. And the time is now 16:46, and it's Lamborghini and Wilstead. Thank you. Wie gaan nou voorstel kry. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Chacha, I see your hand. Councillor Chacha.
Speaker,
Yes.
when I'm looking on the table of contents of the agenda items, I do not see any point of municipal funds or COVID-19 funds. I will not want the councillors to mistake 4.1 of the items that reads as follows: relief on municipal accounts, and confuse that with the establishment of the solidarity fund. That is something
Thank
different.
you. Councillor Chacha, thank
So
you very much.
I'm objecting.
There was a
I'm
council
objecting.
decision. There was a decision that this meeting now continue. Councillor
Speaker, but-
Kershaw, I see your hand. Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Kershaw.
Sorry.
Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Kershaw.
Dankie, Speaker. Schiet sukkel hier met de technologie. Dankie. Madam Speaker, I would propose that we refer the document of the 30th of June, all the agenda, to a workshop next week on Wednesday, so that we can discuss this in detail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kershaw. I have a proposal from Councillor Kershaw. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor, the Mayor McPherson is the seconder. Do I have a counter proposal that this not be done in this way? Councillor Chacha, I see your hand. Councillor Chacha.
Speaker, thank you very much. I'm looking on these agenda items that of the 3rd of June. I do not see anything that is worth workshopable. I'm not too sure this speed of all councillors not wanting to deal with agenda items, because on these items we've got reports, and most of the reports doesn't even require a workshop. It requires an engagement of this nature, which is this meeting. Now, I want to register my dissatisfaction of today's meeting from all councillors. By the look of things, the only thing that was very important to all of you was the election of the mayor and the deputy mayor. Now, on issues pertaining to service delivery matters, we do not want to entertain that. It's very disturbing. It's really not right. It's very unjustified. It's wrong what you are doing to members of this community. Now, all of you are done electing the mayor. You want to go home.
Thank you, Councillor Chacha. Do you want to make a counter proposal? Do you want to make a counter proposal?
Let us continue with the meeting. Speaker, there was no decision. It was the wrong decision to write off
Thank you very much.
the motion of exigence without following
Your
them.
decision is that we continue with the meeting and the agenda as is. Do you have a seconder? Councillor Marman, I see your hand.
Speaker, I'm not seconding.
Thank
But
you.
if you look in terms of this agenda, there's some items that didn't come through a portfolio meeting. So we will be doing injustice to this council because it didn't come through the right committees in the first place. And the other thing is, Speaker, I think there's some few more other items that must be dealt with in terms of financial items. I'm just not sure. Let me just check, speak, and come back.
Thank you very much, Councillor Marman. Do I have a seconder for Councillor Chacha's proposal that we deal with the full item, the full agenda now? Councillor Kobus, I take it that you second Councillor Chacha's proposal?
Yes, Speaker.
Thank you very much. So I have a proposal from Councillor Kershaw, and I have a proposal from Councillor Chacha. When I ask your name, you will please indicate whether it's Kershaw or Chacha. Thank you. Councillor Marman. Councillor Marman.
Speaker, like I said, there is still some items that must be addressed now.
Thank you. That's the addendum. We're only talking about the very thick agenda. Thank you.
No, then Kershaw, Speaker, is fine.
Councillor Kershaw's proposal. Thank you. To go for a workshop. Councillor Gertse. Councillor Gertse.
I'm seconding my chief whip.
Thank you very much. Councillor Jude. Thank you, Councillor Jude. Councillor Stone.
Councillor Chacha.
Councillor McPherson. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor McPherson. Councillor Botha. Councillor Botha.
Kersop.
Thank you, Councillor Botha. Councillor Mwati. Councillor Mwati. Councillor Mwati. Councillor Mwati. Councillor Mwati. Is anybody in a room with Councillor Mwati? Councillor Mwati. Councillor Tyson, are you in the room with Councillor Mwati? Councillor Tyson. Okay. Councillor Mwati, I can't get hold of you. Councillor Floors. Councillor Floors.
Chacha.
Thank you. Councillor Owen. Councillor Owen.
Speaker.
Councillor Owen.
Kersop, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Owen. Councillor Kobus. Councillor Kobus.
Chacha, Speaker.
Councillor Fourie. Councillor Fourie. Councillor Fourie.
Speaker George Kersop, Speaker, maar die ander twee is hier wat jy soek as nie by my.
Thank you, Councillor Fourie. Can you please ask them to indicate who they are and how they vote?
Okay, kom.
Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Mwati.
Councillor George Kerso.
Thank you.
Councillor George.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's it. And Chacha we have there. And I'm here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 in favor of Councillor Kersop and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in favor of Councillor Chacha. So Councillor Kersop's proposal stands that this whole agenda be referred to a workshop next week, Wednesday, except the addendums. You have received, when I sent out Friday the 31st of July, the notice of a virtual council meeting, you will see that there are various financial related matters, items, reports that we have to deal with. And then you will also have received an addendum, can you see, addendum council meeting that we also have to deal with. And that has to do on the annual implementation of the supply chain management policy and the infrastructure procurement policy for the 2019-2020 financial years. I'm referring you to page 4 of the agenda of Friday the 31st of July, page 4. Why do I have, no, sorry. The first one I have is, okay, page 1 to 3. Page 1 to 3 is the interim audit committee. And you will see that there are recommendations on page 2 and page 3. Councillor Kershaw? Councillor Kershaw? Please unmute yourself, Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Kershaw, thank you.
Thank you,
Councillor
Madam
Kershaw.
Speaker.
Thank you.
I just want to bring some clarity here. I only refer back the agenda of the 30th of June, because that's the thick agenda of the 30th of June. I refer that back. The agenda for today, the financial items, we will still deal with that.
Thank you. That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. And then on page 1, we can start off with page 1 on today's agenda.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. That's on the interim audit committee. As you know, on the previous council meeting, we discussed the advertisement of the post for internal auditor or the external auditors, the audit committee. But then we're still busy with the vetting. We're still having problems with vetting with the SA Police Services, and therefore we're now asking we asked the council's permission to negotiate with the Gardner District Municipality to avail the audit committee of the Gardner District Municipality for an interim period of 3 months, or until the appointment of an audit committee for Oudtshoorn Municipality is finalized, and that the council approves the financial implications towards the payment of honoraria according to the Gardner District Municipality policy, as well as the direct cost involved for traveling arrangements, also in line with the Gardner District Municipal policy. And I therefore propose that we accept this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kershaw. I have a proposal from Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Marman. Councillor Marman. Councillor Marman, don't walk away out of my meeting.
Speaker, yeah. No, Speaker,
I saw you.
I didn't walk away.
I
Speaker,
saw you.
I have observed here in the council chambers that majority of our councillors doesn't have that agenda item. So can perhaps Speaker screen share or give us hard copies?
Let me just ask Madeleine, het jy nog kopieë?
Speaker, all the items we're going to deal with now.
Madeleine, het jy nog kopieë? Councillors, you will receive the agenda just now. And I'll give you 5 minutes until you all have the agendas. It's the one of the 31st of June, and then there's an addendum council meeting, addendum 1 council meeting for Friday the 31st of July. 31st of July, sorry. They will, council support will bring now. Just hold on a moment. Councillors, I need your attention, please. Councillor Marman, I see that you have your agendas. I want to bring it under your attention that all the agendas are sent to you via email onto your tablets. That's what the tablets are there for. If you come into your council meeting and you do not have your agendas or you want a hard copy, please make arrangements with council support so that they can give you a hard copy. Thank you very much. Can we continue? Councillor Kershop made a proposal that the recommendations by the municipal manager on page 2 and page 3, that there's recommendations, and Councillor Kershop made a proposal to that effect. Do I have a seconder for this? Do I have a seconder? Yes. Councillor McPherson, thank you very much. Do I have a counter proposal that we do not ask Eden? I don't have a council proposal. This is carried unanimously by council. Thank you very much. Then we get on to the relief on municipal accounts, COVID-19 period. Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Kershaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This item served before council in December, and we asked for a relief on municipal accounts. But due to the COVID period and the lockdown, we now ask council to approve the relief on consumer municipal accounts in the form of exempting the billing of interest on all overdue consumers accounts for a period of 6 months from the beginning of July until the end of December 2020. And that council extend the consumer incentive scheme originally approved by council on the 19th of December, resolution number 60.162/12/19, whereby consumers would be required to settle 50% of debt in arrears before the 30th of June 2020, once off, and will then be assisted through the write-off of the remainder 50% of the debt from July 2020 to December 2020. The above mentioned incentive scheme will only be applicable on debt older than 30 days. That the above incentive scheme also be introduced to debt which is handed over to attorneys for collection. Then on the next page, on page 6, that all consumers except municipal officials and councillors, as the letter received for full remuneration during the COVID-19 pandemic, remain unblocked from the 1st of May 2020 to the 31st of January 2021 to enable the purchase of electricity over the COVID-19 pandemic period. This will exclude consumers disconnected or blocked and have penalties for tampering with their electricity meter box or supply. That a compulsory auxiliary percentage charge of 40% collection be implemented on all electricity prepaid consumers that is unblocked for the mentioned period, and that the accrued outstanding debt during this pandemic period of COVID-19 to prohibited debt escalating that could result in the municipality becoming totally financially unsustainable. 5, that all residential consumers currently utilizing a conventional electricity meter box be converted to a prepaid electricity meter box, starting with consumers which is in arrears with their municipal service accounts at the cost of the municipality, to implement point 4 above fairly across the greater Oudtshoorn municipality consumers. Funding to execute the above mentioned will be duly verified in the 2021 medium-term reference expenditure budget. Where possible, savings can be identified and will be utilized. That the extension of the incentive scheme be advertised on all media platforms to inform consumers of such extension up to the 31st of December 2020. I propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Chacha, I see your hand.
Speaker, on this recommendation, recommendation number 3, sentence number 2, which reads as follows: this will exclude consumers disconnected or blocked and have penalties for tampering with electricity meter box or supply. The point that I want to argue on is that how do we normalize our financial conditions as a municipality? Is to ensure that we create a space where the demand will grow for people to utilize or to have access to electricity. Now, those that are blocked due to not faith, or in fact by not paying their accounts, or those that are being disconnected due to temporary off-meter boxes, let us ensure that we get them on board so that they can also be able to purchase electricity. I am moving that we make amendments onto point number 3 and say that this includes everyone, blocked or not blocked, disconnected or connected. Everyone needs to benefit out of this COVID-19 relief. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jongi. So you making a counter proposal to Councillor Kershop's proposal. Councillor Kershop.
I'm requesting that you take my amendment on
Councillor
point 3.
Councillor Kershop, will you take the amendment on point 3?
Madam Speaker, no, I won't take the amendment on paragraph 3 because where consumers are disconnected or blocked and have penalties for tampering with their electricity meter boxes or supply, they have a penalty that they first have to pay, and therefore I can't accept this amendment to my recommendation.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kershop. Councillor Marman.
Sorry, Speaker. Yes, I really want I propose that we take also this item in the workshop so that we can improve on certain issues raised here on this item. That's my proposal for this item to be workshop.
Councillor Kershop. Councillor Marman proposes that we take this to our workshop next week. We could do that. Yes, we'll do that. Thank you very much.
No,
this will go to our workshop for next week, and we will talk about it there as well. Good. Then we're on page 7, the Provincial Treasury Review and Feedback for the final budget 2020-2021. Councillor Kershop. Councillor Kershop.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm not going to deal with this in depth. The recommendation is on page 9, that the Council note the Provincial Treasury Review and Feedback on the final budgets for 2021 assessment report. The Council note that the assessment report highlights the operating budget deficit of the municipality before capital transfers, and that Council to work on it by trying not to approve budgets as such. I recommend. Oh, sorry, on page 4, on the next page, page 10, number 3. The Council note that the municipality is advised to monitor the operating expenditure increases over the 2021 budget, as it might surpasses operational income and might put pressure on operating revenue budget and cash surpluses in the long run by limit non-priority spending and implement stringent cost containment measures. And point number 4, that Council note that there is a difference of opinion between the assessment and the administration on the funded status of the budget due to the unavailability of the same assessment tool used by the National Treasury, which is not legally regulated. Number 5, that Council to recommend to National Treasury as part of the feedback to them that they either provide all municipalities with the assessment tool or to provide guidelines on assumptions to be used with provisions, example, leave provisions, to bring more certainty on the funded status of the budget. Number 6, that the Council to note that a new long-term financial plan will have to be developed again after the audited information has become available. I propose. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kershop. I have a proposal from you, Councillor Gertse. Councillor Gertse.
Madam Speaker, in verband met die gedeelte wat deur ons chief op gehanteer was. Ons is in 'n lockdown tyd. En ons gemeenskap kry swaar daar buite.
Gertse, Raadslid Gertse, ons gaan nie terug op die agenda nie. Ons
Madam
is nou
Speaker,
op bladsy
But
10.
he,
Baie dankie, Raadslid Gertse, ons gaan nie terug nie. Councillor Chacha. I see your hand, Councillor Chacha.
Speaker, on page 8, the second paragraph under the grid,
Yes.
or it reads as follows. The municipality is further encouraged to note that the current fiscal constraints are anticipated to persist over 2021 financial year. Therefore, the municipality is advised to improve the effort to limit non-priority spending and implement stringent cost containment measures. While striving to value for money, the municipality is also encouraged to make conservative collection rate estimates considering the negative effects of COVID-19 and ensure that expenditure is in line with the revenue and to review the trade creditors budget. The reason why I want us to look at that, Speaker, is that not long ago we approved the budget. We, as the agency, we have objected, we were against it because we could see that budget didn't speak much about prudent steps that have to be taken to ensure that as the municipality, we must position ourselves as a municipality that is financially sound. Now, the governing party approved that budget without looking on all those nitty-gritties and important factors as highlighted by the provincial review tabled in front of us. It is indeed embarrassing that we have approved the budget that has a huge deficit. The governing party have overlooked that. It says here we must ensure that we implement stringent cost containment measures. I can assure you, Speaker, come the end of this financial year, we are going to pay performance bonuses again. Come the end of financial year, we are not going to get a detailed report of the airport, how much are we making from the airport. That X amount of money is the amount of money that is needed for activities or projects that will see to it that community standards are uplifted. Households are taken out of the nets of poverty to self-reliant measures. So I'm saying, Speaker, it will be very important of us that in council, when we are making inputs onto reports, these inputs need to be recorded and be noted. And when these reports are coming back again to council, the inputs that we have made previously needs to reflect onto those reports that we have made. Up to this far, it has been a fashion in this municipality that when council make inputs onto some of these reports, it doesn't get recorded, it doesn't get considered anywhere. It is embarrassing that we have went so far now, the provincial department treasurer is coming back to us and say that these are the things that we need to be looking at. So I wanted to raise that concern. I want it to be recorded. I want officials from all directorates that let us spend money prudently. Austerity measures need to be activated urgently. Because now we are willing to sacrifice, well, in fact, we are not even willing to ensure that people that are blocked, people that are disconnected are not afforded or going to buy electricity again. And that's why we're going to make money. I once made an input in the portfolio committee meeting of the council services, also in a full council meeting to say, in these informal settlements, there's some households that are electrified, but they are not billed. So I'm saying that is also where we are losing money. So I'm raising that concern. It must be registered by all directorates. Prudent spending, austerity measures needs to be activated as a matter of urgency. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Chacha, Councillor Jude, Councillor McPherson, and Councillor Marman. Councillor Jude. Councillor Jude, unmute yourself, please.
Madam Chair, this item deals with specific sense, more or less where we get guidance from National Treasury and as well as the admin And I actually second in the proposal has been made currently as from items 1 till 6.
Thank you, Councillor Jude.
Abstain is right, ek is tevrede.
Thank you. Councillor
Dat
McPherson.
ek iets het. Thank you.
Councillor McPherson.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I hear the concerns raised by the Honourable Chacha, and I agree to a large extent with a lot of the issues that were raised there concerning the processes that are followed, which I also support. I mean, and we are definitely going to embark on a new process whereby no points or no issues will be dealt with in council unless it's gone through a process where the committees deal with that matter extensively, and then it's forwarded to the MACO and from there back to council, and that we will ensure that everything is recorded and that we deal with the matter in depth. And I would therefore say that once we start with this process immediately, that you'll be granted the opportunities to voice your opinion in those sessions and make sure that anything is dealt with completely, so that we don't get stuck with any of these issues you just raised at this stage. May I also then say that I would ask that these points that you now raised, if we can have that also as part of the discussion on next week's workshop. Ek sal graag wil hoor die punte wat u aangeraak het, dat ons dit nog verder bespreek en dan sal ek graag luister wat se voorstelle u wil maak in die verband. Baie dankie.
Thank you, Councillor McPherson. Thank you, Mayor. I have a proposer and I have a seconder. I take it that I have no counter proposal. Thank you. Accepted by council. Thank you very much. We will continue. We are now on page 18, the section 52 budget and performance report for June 2020. Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Kershaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Page 19, the section 52 budget and performance report for June 2020. We all received it, and I'm not going to go in detail to each and every point on that item. We've got the recommendation on page 22 that the council take note of the fourth quarterly budget and performance report as at the 30th of June 2020, and that the council take note of the figures in this report, that the figures in this report are subject to changes as a result of the year-end processes to compile the annual financial statements, that the council take note of, due to the fact that the annual financial statements has not yet been finalized, and the fourth quarterly performance report does not reflect the actuals of the financial performance ratios, as it still needs to be updated after the finalization of the annual financial statements in order to avoid any misstatements between the fourth quarterly performance report and the annual performance report. And that once the annual financial statements have been completed and finalized, the full SDBIP report 2019-2020 be presented to council with the annual report and annual financial statements. Before I recommend, I would also like to ask the council that we accept this now, the recommendation here, but that we also refer this to our workshop next week so that we can discuss this in detail. I propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kershaw. We make a note that it's also referred to the workshop. Councillor Tjatja. Councillor Tjatja.
Thank you very much, Speaker. On page 19 of this item, under title Conclusion on the Financial Position of the Municipality, I'd like it to be recorded that it reads as follows: the financial position have indeed improved as at the 30th of June, but still below the best practice benchmark, which currently we are sitting, our assets are at 1.6 times more than the current liability. We're supposed to be between 2 and 3. It has been the case, but I'm commending the improvement, but I'm still concerned of that we're still below the best practice. I would also like to draw your attention to page 21. under 7, which is the capital spending. It reads total year-to-date capital expenditure as at the 30th of June amounts to 69.9 million, which is 53%. It further says that this excludes the commitments of 19.8 million. If the commitments are considered, the total capital expenditure for the financial year amounts to 68%. When I'm taking it 53%, I want to emphasize it again, that we are not spending as the municipality. We have a track record, Speaker. 2017 and 18, we were under expenditure with 9.4 million. 18 and 19 financial year, we are under expenditure with 39.6 million. This financial year that ended now in 30th of June, particularly on the technical services side, where we're spending the bulk of the money, we roughly around between 53% and 68%. It is a worrying factor. But the reason that has been cited on this paragraph, it says it is because it is due to the lockdown. There was little movement of capital projects, which means the completion date of the projects have been affected. You know, this reason doesn't find space to me, because it is indirectly playing out the non-planning from our side. We are failing to plan as the municipality so that projects can be done on time. That is my dissatisfaction as far as this report is concerned. But I know one or two might come and say that we won't be able to respond, because this will be covered on the quarterly report. I'm hoping that when we are going to engage on this matter as council, we must engage on this matter honestly, and must engage on this matter with fairness, because we did injustice to our communities. We did not spend money. We are failing to spend money. We are unable to plan properly as the municipality. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Tjatja. That is exactly why this item is referred to for further inputs in our workshop next week. Councillor Marman.
No, thank you, Speaker. That item is going to be referred back, because I also had a couple of questions, especially to the CFO, but I will address it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marman. I have a proposal from Councillor Cashel, but I do not have a seconder yet. Councillor, the Mayor McPherson. Thank you very much. I don't have a counter proposal. We will continue. We are now on page 66 to 67.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Cashel. Please continue.
On page 66, the council take note that no deviations were approved for the month of May 2020. I recommend. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cashel. And there is nothing to vote on this because there are no deviations, so council will simply take note. Less than 3 quotations report, May 2020, page 68 to 70. Councillor Cashel, thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. On page, we all got it on page 70, and the recommendation is that the report on the quotations less than 3 obtained for the month of May be noted.
Okay, thank you very much. It's so noted by council. Councillor Marman.
Speaker, I will need more clarity on terms of this report. How can we just note this item where we only seek less than 3 quotations? Can I just get more clarity? Because in the past we have dealt with such item where items were, in terms of this, was split when it came to quotations.
Thank you, Councillor Marman. We will also have more information on this at our workshop next week. The CFO will take note of this and he will explain to us exactly how these items work. Thank you very much, Mr. De Jager. I'm sorry for giving you more work. Councillor Tjatja? Councillor Tjatja?
Speaker, I don't have much, but to also agree with what the EFF councillor was saying, but the question that I want to be answered on the spot, because it's of no use that you're going to send me to a workshop while the thing has been approved and paid already. Was the money paid already, CFO? Yes or no? That is through you, Speaker.
Okay, if you look that we simply take note of the report on the quotations less than 3 obtained for the month of May 2020 be noted. We will discuss this at the workshop.
Money paid? The question is, was the money paid? Yes or no?
If you do the work, Councillor Tjatja, I suppose that the money must be paid. Mr. De Jager, I see your face. Mr. De Jager.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for allowing me. Allow me first to say congratulations to the newly elected Executive Mayor, Councillor McPherson. I hope you will be up to the task and be able to deliver what is expected from Executive Mayor. I think, Speaker, if I can also follow the line that Councillor McPherson was trying to bring across, because we were in a little bit of an abnormal situation for this period, because normally these things go to the committee and through your MAICO, but we didn't have that opportunity due to the circumstances that prevail here. So I think I understand the spirit that we will be able to discuss these things in more length, like normally, like a committee sort of scenario, but just like we are pressed with time that we are sitting here. So I take it that, Speaker, we will be giving it more detail as what we would normally done in the committee scenario. And obviously, as what you are saying, it was paid because we are reporting a deviation report. So I think we can discuss it as what we normally does in a committee as the workshop, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, CFO. Councillor Marman.
Speaker, no, I can't agree with the CFO. We cannot send this to a workshop. If you look on page 70, when we're dealing with money issues, money-related issues, Speaker, I'm just making one example. The one of for the procurement, the quote for the Zoom meeting is standing at 30,000 rand. So we need an in-depth explanation why it's costing 30,000 rand just for a Zoom license for 1 year, a period of 1 year.
Thank you, Councillor Marman. As I've already said, that this will also be going to our workshop.
Speaker,
thank you very much.
Speaker.
Councillor Tjatja.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I do not believe that when I sit in these meetings, when I need answers, I must always be told either of quarterly reports or workshops. I'm not a councillor of workshops. I'm a councillor of meetings. In meeting situations, that's where I need to be answered on my questions. It doesn't make sense, really, that you will want to refer this to a workshop while the money has already been paid. Why did this thing not come to us with detailed reasons? Because really, when you look at this first technology is not even from around. This kind of device or whatever app or program could have even be sourced from one of these computer shops that we are having here, or computer companies that are headed by people, by local people. So it does really not make sense. What type of answers are we going to be provided in a workshop? Because in workshops, most of the times, when we're sitting there, we seek answers to questions, we do not get joy on such things. I want the CFO to clarify, how did we arrive to 30,000 rand for a Zoom app? A Zoom app that I can buy on Play Store, a Zoom app that I can buy somewhere else at a very lesser rate than this one. And it can't be that indirectly we are encouraging acceptance of one quotations, whereas the law or the policies is saying that there needs to be 3 quotations made available. The failure for some to submit we must redo the exercise again. Now, why are we so in a hurry to approve these quotations with these exorbitant amounts of monies?
Councillor Chacha, we're not approving or rejecting it. We're simply noting it, and this will all be clarified at next week's workshop. Thank you very much.
Speaker.
On page 71,
We must,
page 71, Councillor Kershaw, page 71. Councillor Kershaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Page 71, we all got the tenders awarded for the month of May. On page 72, it was the Standard Bank tender for 18 million rand. The total repayment of 27,111,931 rand, subject to a floating interest rate over the period of 10 years. And then the second one was the Cape Seating Manufacturers. That was the bidder for the office furniture delivered to the Oudtshoorn Municipality. Those are the two tenders that was awarded. And the recommendation is that the report for the month of May be noted with Annexure A for tender awards, further noting that for the period, no formal quotations were finalized and awarded. Thank you. I propose.
Thank you, Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Jute.
Do you worry me?
Ja, ek hoor jou.
Madam Chair, ek wil propose dat beide hierdie items van die wat noem jy nou?
Supply chain.
Yes, ma'am. Of dat hulle verwys word na die eerskomende en die volgende impact meeting toe dat daar net die clarities en goed uitgesort raak. Ek dink ons hoef in 'n workshop nog hierdie goed. Ek dink impact is aangewese om daardie verifikasies en goed na te spoor. En dan moet impact net vir ons 'n verslag gee daaroor. Ek dink ons kan nou verswinkel vir impact nie, maar die hele situasie en dan wil ek hê dit moet insluit die item bladsy 71 tot 78 ook.
71 tot
78.
78.
Ja, nog meer.
Dis die deviation Annexure A is op 78 rondom dit is die shortness en dan die ander 4, ek dink dit is 4 items daarop. Ons nie al daar items ook na impact verwys het.
Ek het nou 'n voorstel van Raadslid Kershaw dat ons die
kan ek nie sy voorstel amendement hulle nie myne intrek by syne nie.
Raadslid Kershaw, ek sien meneer Die Jager se hand ook. Raadslid Kershaw.
Nou Speaker, kan ons eers die CFO kans gee om te praat, dan kan ek daarna.
Thank you. Mr. De Jager, just unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. I think I will just give a little bit of guidance in dealing with the items. Not that I am against anybody's position. Deviations and the items to follow are all supply chain reports, and councillors are not allowed to interfere with the supply chain processes. However, the impact is a committee of council and is investigating section 32 committee of council. So any item that council feel need further investigation can be referred to the impact and to come up with a report. But normally deviation report is not a report that is not necessarily that goes to the impact, but more like irregular expenditure, those type of expenditure, because the deviation lies with the prerogative of the accounting officer. So I just want to advise council that councils are not allowed to interfere with the supply chain processes, but any report before council can be referred to the impact for possible further investigation to come up with a report.
Thank you, Mr. De Jager. Councillor Kershaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I agree. We can refer the reports to the next workshop for next week. But also, I would like to do the first deviation report for June 2020 as well. So
June 2020, that's to page 76.
74, 5 and 6 years.
Yeah. So you would like to refer all of those to the workshop?
Yeah, Madam Speaker, but not only to the workshop. I would like to recommend that the Council takes note of the deviations approved for the month of June, but that we also refer this to impact.
Okay.
I can't agree with the date on the deviation number 35 for the 28th of February, and it only appears now on the deviation register for June 2020. Therefore, I would like to refer this to impact for investigation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kersop. Councillor Jute, you made the addition. Do you second Councillor Kersop's proposal?
I second, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Councillor Chacha, I see your hand.
Oh, it's fine, Speaker. It's okay.
Thank you, Councillor Chacha. We'll continue. So we're now on page 77. 77, there is a recommendation on page 80. Councillor Kershaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The report on the quarterly implementation of the supply chain management policy and infrastructure procurement policy for April to the 30th of June. And we've got a recommendation on page 86 that the Mayor takes note of the supply chain management quarterly implementation report for from the 1st of April to the 30th of June.
The 86 is page 80. Page 80.
Oh, sorry, page 80, sorry. Yeah, I'm on page 80. Sorry for that. And point 2, that it be noted there were 15 deviations that occurred for the period of 1st of April to the 30th of June to the amount of 2,638,762 rand and 50 cents, all considered and approved in line with the regulation of 36 of the supply chain regulations 2005 and the Oudtshoorn supply chain management policy. That irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure identified be referred to the Municipal Public Accounts Committee for investigation and recommendation to Council.
Thank you. I have a proposal from Councillor Kersop. I see the Mayor McPherson's hand. Mayor.
Honourable colleagues, I've now sat and looked through these, and I've listened to a lot of the statements that have been made by the honourable councillors. And I want to say that this is typical of what I said previously. And I want to make it clear that these types of recommendations, I will not accept that as your executive mayor unless it's gone through a stringent process where the Section 80 committees have dealt with that and they make a recommendation. I want to see on this thing a recommendation also from that specific committee that would refer that back to the mayoral committee. And that will, I think, alleviate the problem that some of the councillors has now mentioned, that to say that they don't get the opportunity to actually discuss this in detail and to interrogate all the facts, which is very important. But I think that we should now accept the fact that this, even if it's not to impact, that it refers back to the various committees of council, Section 80 committees, as soon as possible. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor Kershaw. Councillor Stone, Councillor Stone, I see you.
Speaker, my tablet is off now because
Yes.
I just want to request that in future, please see to it that there is a power supply installed in some of these desks. We want to stick to the regulations that we must social distance. Now I'm unable to social distance. I want to request that I be released.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Councillor Tjatja. Councillor Jude. Councillor Jude.
Speaker.
Councillor Jude.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I'm not sure, did the executive mayor make a recommendation on that item now?
The executive mayor added to the recommendation, and he said that in future all items will be referred through to the committees, the portfolio committees, where we will have a robust interrogation of every single item, so that by the time that this item comes to council, there will be a recommendation from the portfolio to the mayoral committee, and from the mayoral committee to council. Councillor Kershaw, do you take that addition to your recommendation? Councillor Kershaw? Councillor Kershaw? Yes?
Hello, Madam Speaker. Sorry,
Yes.
I couldn't unmute myself here.
Okay, I unmuted you, Councillor Kershaw.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I will accept the amendment to my recommendation by Councillor McPherson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kershaw. I don't have a counter proposal. Thank you very much. We'll continue. And we are now on page, where are we now? Nou, slakel daarvoor. Ja. We are on page, this is all supply chain. Okay, we are now on page 108. Councillor Kershaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The tabling of the quarterly report for council and official outstanding debt at the end of 30th of June. We all got it on page 109, page 108, page 109. And I can compliment all the councillors on paying their debt in time. And the recommendation on page 110 is that the council take note of the outstanding debt of councillors and staff members as of the 30th of June. That an internal memorandum be circulated to all staff members informing them that all overdue accounts of staff members must be settled on or before the 15th of August 2020. Failure to settle overdue accounts will lead to the disconnection of conventional prepaid electricity or the handover of accounts to external debt collection attorneys for collection. I recommend.
Thank you, Councillor Kershaw. Do I have a seconder for the proposal? Mayor McPherson. Thank you very much. I don't have a counter proposal. It's unanimously accepted by council. Then we have the last item, which we're not dealing with because we've already dealt with the motion of no confidence in. We don't need. This is a superfluous item. And then the minutes we will let stand over for our workshop this week. Then we have Councillor Kershaw, Finance, CFO. You have the addendum 1. You all have this one. And on page 1 is the report on the annual implementation of the supply chain management policy and the infrastructure procurement policy for the 2019-2020 financial year. Councillor Kershaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You all received the addendum that was handed out last week already. Some of you only received it today. That's all the work being done in the supply chain management, supply chain department. And the recommendation is on page 6 of the addendum that the council takes note of the annual implementation report of supply chain management policy for goods and services and the infrastructure procurement policy. That it be noted that there is 35 deviations approved for the period 1st of July 2019 to the 30th of June 2020 with a sum of 3,011,282.72 rand inclusive of all costs. Let it be noted that stock take was performed at year end 30th of June 2020 in line with the Oudtshoorn supply chain management policy, paragraph 39. And on page 7, that the irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure identified for the 2019-20 financial year be referred to the Municipal Public Accounts Committee for investigation. I recommend.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kershoff. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Mayor McPherson.
Nee, goed. Ek trek my.
Thank you. Then we have, that's it.
No, Madam Speaker.
Councillor Kershoff.
Madam Speaker, I would also bring a motion of exigency to appoint Mr. Gerald de Jager as the acting municipal manager for a period of 3 months. And number 2, to request the Minister of Local Government to second the following personnel to the Oudtshoorn Municipality for the next 3 months. An acting Chief Financial Officer in the light of that Mr. Jager will act as acting MM, the acting Director of Technical Services, and the acting Manager Legal Services. Because I think it's very urgent that we need those 3 secondments to be made to the Oudtshoorn Municipality. I propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kershoff. I did receive your motion of exigency. Is there any objection from council that we do not deal with this motion of exigency now? No objection. Thank you. And Councillor Mayor McPherson accepts this motion of exigency. It's proposed by Councillor Kershoff and seconded by Councillor Lambertine and accepted by the Mayor. Councillor Marman. Councillor Marman.
Chair, Madam Chair, I don't know. I've just noticed something and I've realized it now. You, as Speaker, didn't do a roll call. I'm asking if we are still in reaching.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's quickly go through here.
Yes.
It's myself. It's you, Councillor Jude. He's there. Councillor Tyser. Councillor Tyser. Councillor Tyser is there. Thank you. And so is Councillor Mwati. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Councillor Owen, you still there? 6. Councillor McPherson is there. Councillor Kershoff is there. Councillor Fourie. Oh.
Yes.
No. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, I can see you. That means we're only 9 councillors, so this meeting is no longer full, right? We will have to deal with the motion of exigency at another time because we are no longer full, right? I'm going to adjourn this meeting. I did have a few councillors that asked me because of transport problems whether they could leave. Councillor Jude, I see your hand. Councillor Jude. Councillor Jude.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councillor Jude, I see your hand.
No, I've just, I was also part of raising the issue of a quorum.
Okay. Okay.
I believe you did handle it now.
Okay, so we can't deal with this motion of exigency.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, councillors. This meeting is now the end of the meeting and we adjourn.
Thank you.